Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome. Maria Graham, you are the earliest early bird. Sissy Joanne Stevens, thank you for coming and welcome, 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 you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up so I can hit the thumbs up button. I thank those of you who are here for the restream. Please don't forget to give the thumbs up and leave a message. I'm leaving that a little bit high because I changed the background and I want you to see what I will be working on next. So, Maria and Joanne are saying hi to each other. I will give the rest of you a couple minutes to come in. Of course, I'm trying to pull up the chat on my phone. Oh, there we are, sort of, kind of. Ah, there we are. Mike's Chaotic Gardening is in there. Hello, hello to you too, sir. Thank you for coming and welcome. Excuse me, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just used my inhaler, so, you know, Murphy's Law when you go live. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And my Renaissance Gma says, hello, GQUAT, Joanne, Mike, Maria. You've been getting a lot of stuff, excuse me, planted outside, sis. It's still much too cold here. Still much too cold here. Actually, it's a nice day today. It's like 59, 60, and it is going to be warmer in the next couple days. But they're not tricking me into putting my little plants out there. Oh, no, no, no. Not my babies that I have been nurturing inside for the last month since Planter Garden starting their herb their herb contest challenge, and WIG Grow Off is in the process of choosing the winners for theirs. I will say this, I know that I won't be first place this year. I know what happened, Michael. I was trying to show your comment and the cursor was somewhere else and did something else, but I'm not the only one having problems with this in these YouTube streets. I saw Mr. Arthur Bammett the other night had a problem. PIA, these different streaming platforms. First, let me say welcome everyone. Welcome those of you who are watching in the bushes. Some of you are at work, East Coast, West Coast, all around the land. Other countries, I know that it's 12 o'clock at night. I have people in Kenya and in Nigeria watching the shows. Mike says, no pushing buttons. I'm good at pushing people's buttons. Trust me on that. You can ask Auntie Joanne about that. Oh, I can push your button now. One time, my dad, the first, did I say, thank you, moderators. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you for channel members, the ones who pay a monthly membership to help support the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you, all the different ways that you help out. I was going to tell you about Daddy. He was in California, and my dad was a contractor in Connecticut. He came to California. We were helping with Rebuild LA, and Dad was doing some work at the house, and I wanted to do something my way. And I was a construction boss too in the family company, but I wanted him to do something, Daddy, to do something at home, and he thought it should be done a different way. And he looked at me, he said, you are so exasperating. When you can't have your way, you won't do no way at off. He told me off, hunty. He told me off. And then we did it a middle way, a middle way, a middle way. Speaking of which, and I have so many things to show you guys. And it is a traditional holiday right now for so many people. Some people don't celebrate holidays, but there's Passover going around. I actually put Hershey in my bedroom because he's going crazy with the nightly ceremonies, with the painting class downstairs, with people delivering stuff. So yesterday, my aide and I put together my table, my new table that I bought for my Cutie Breeze quilting frame. And it's iron, and it's a bit heavy, and we were putting it together between the two of us. She would get that one way, and then I would do it another way. Then between us, we figure the middle. And then sometimes the best way for me to help is to get out of the way. We were getting a complicated. I'll answer your question 1 second, Maria Graham. What is that on the wall behind me? There are actually a couple of things. So we're taking this table that has two iron frames for legs. It's a contraption, and some cross strapping, and we're putting Mike saying put to drop your link to your channel, type exclamation mark GQUAT. So we're putting this thing together, and there was a couple of screws that were real long that had to go through all the pieces of metal, and she put her end in. And of course, I can't see black on black on black in black on black. Anyway, Boucher Prepper, hola. Tiene mail? Tienes mail, Boucher Prepper? I sent you some mail. I don't know whether you got it or not. So I'm doing my end, and this long screw, there's a hole in the center of the metal of the table. Guess what? I dropped mine down in the hole on some weird angle and couldn't get it back out. It's like dropping the baby in the well or something. Ah, what a mess. So we had to take her end loose, turn it upside down, and get the screw out. Hey, Sissy, Joanne Stevens, do you remember when I dropped my diamond stud earring in your sink at your house in California? We had to we had to call the plumber to take the whole sink out and turn it upside down to get my poor little diamond earring out. I don't even wear anything like that anymore because I've lost too many earrings since the you know what vid, and I still have to wear a mask in public. So, Campbell's Creation, thanks for coming and welcome. Bouger Prepper saying hello, Elder, and hello to everybody else. I appreciate each and every one of you. So we got this. Ouch! My shoulder. I have bad shoulders. They say that I need two knee replacements. Two knee replacements. Been there, done that. Two shoulder replacements. Not going to do that. So helping. I was mostly holding it after a while. Joanne Stevens, she remembers that when I tore up her whole bathroom to get my earring out of the sink. Well, if there's one person in the family who's going to be involved in interesting things, that would be me. That would be me. So, Bouger, give a thumbs up if you got your mail. I'm so excited because some people, it took forever to get their mail. And beside me in the chair, I know this is not what Maria Graham is talking about. Let's see. I will take this off. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I want to hide that. Collagen and MSM. I take a lot of supplements, Mike, hands full of them. I don't know what the MSM is unless it's magnesium because I do take that in some of my vitamins. Oh, you got the neck pillow. Cool. I saved yours because I know I thought you would like a camo one. Yes, 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 y'all. So Olga helped me finish getting the table together. And then you know how you buy something from IKEA? Has anybody ever bought anything from IKEA? Put a one in the chat. They're the worst with the different the instructions. This table had pretty good instructions, but we got this whole table together. It was heavy. It took both of us to turn it right side up so that we could clean it off and use it. One of the first things they said though was to dust it before you got it. Mike was saying yes that Bouger got it. PIA, I saw you struggling to see if you were live or not today. It seems like every time you get ready to go live, the powers that be start moving things around, asking dumb questions. Bouger says she loves anything from me. Oh, I just love you. I just love you. And I appreciate your support from way back, way back when. Oh, Maria Graham likes her neck pillow too. She uses it all the time. Those things are addictive. They are addictive. Our treasured home, Nancy. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not I'm not busting her chops, but one of the things we were talking about, or at least I think Bayou, um, Bayou Sugar was talking about those of us that do different things and to oh, mi hermana, Lorraine T. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. She's in the car, excuse me, but she can chat. So she helps me do things, and then I teach her things. So she was. We're working on a quilt for her, and excuse me, she picked out her fabrics. She's doing some I'm helping sewing on the sewing machine. She doesn't want to learn how to sew on a sewing machine, which is fine, you guys. You don't have to sew with a sewing machine. We can go back to the way that it was done from the beginning of time, at least before the industrial age and the sewing machine was invented, and do it by hand. I will tell you this, the sewing machines that are 100 years old, the sewing machines that are 77 years old, I've got two sewing machines in here now. They're called featherweights, Singer featherweights, and they're both from 1948. David Corey with Crop. Thanks for coming. It's good to see you too. David. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm teaching her how to sew by hand. And yes, I'm being picky. She says Mrs. Helen is very picky. And I left this for her because she's really good. She's really good at sewing a 1/4 inch seam. I don't know if you can see better on this side. And but she's got these two inverted. So when you sew them, you actually put the pretty side, as unbiased would say, on the inside. So I left this out so she can pick it out because it's annoying and you try not to pick, but you always have to do it. Why? Because life happens and that's how it is. Now, Maria Graham asked me what was behind me, and I think she's talking about, excuse me, I need a pointer. Ah, Speaking of pointers, I'm going to use this. Has anybody ever lost their favorite remote to the room and the TV that they watch the most? Well, I watch you guys on a 55-inch TV in my bedroom. Then when I can, she says you have two treadles that you rock with your foot. Yes, that's I actually have a treadle machine in Auntie Joanne's garage. You'll see it next month when I go out there because I'm going to get it out and not scratch Uncle Roscoe's shiny, pretty car there. Donzel Cooper saying hello. Hello to people. So I lost the remote, and some people are colorblind. I'm totally blind in one eye. I cannot find the stupid remote anywhere. So I had to call the place, Xfinity, and find out where I can go pick one up tomorrow. So we will ride tomorrow and pick one up. I'm going to use this remote to the TV in here and and do it. This place is too small to have 50 million TVs. Oh, I was telling you about the sewing machines. So I've got one sewing machine in here, two that are from 1948. They're featherweights and they're fancy little curvy girls. And I got them because that's the year I was born in. I have another one that I just picked up at my mother's house. I'll be doing a video about it because that one is 60 years old. I think Auntie Joanne and I got it in 1965 or 1966 for my graduation present, but my parents bought two machines, one for each of us. So I think Maria Graham was talking about this. This is a piece of improvisational quilting. And what it is this middle part is something I drew. It's an electric lady and it's needlepoint. It's actually petty point, which is the tiny, tiny, tiny little needlepoint. Then I sewed some batik strips around here. It's gotten to this point so far because I'm thinking that this piece has so much handwork. Once I got this little part in, I'm going to hand quilt it. Quilting is not the actual sewing of the pieces together. That's called patchwork, or it's called strip piecing. The actual quilting is a connection of the top layer, the batting, and the bottom together. That's what makes it a a quilt. I was just checking to see if I mean Ellen Campbell's name popped up, and it did in the chat, so that you guys can connect with each other. So now that's this one. This one is an art quilt. Oh, you can't see it. This one is an art quilt that I hand drew. I don't know where the sketch is, but anyway, I sketched it at Auntie Joanne's house in 2018 when I was out there, and I traced the pattern on unbleached muslin. This is how one way of making an art quilt. And then I started placing pieces of fabric on top, and you can sort of see the outline of the elephant. This is its tusk, and this actual purple and some of these other fabrics are going to be his shoulder. And these pieces of grass, there's a little frog down here, Sissy, from that ugly frog material. And then a dragonfly. But just so that you could see on the back of it, because some of you asked me about a different art quilt. I'm going to not put the backing on here until the very end because I will be thread painting it. What is thread painting? It's like painting with a paintbrush, except you're not using paint. You're using your sewing machine and the needle and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, for those of you who are new, GQUAT stands for Garden Quilt and Art Show, and each time I go live, try to talk about the gardening part of the traditions in my family, the cooking from scratch, because we cook from scratch every single night, and I don't cook every day, and my helper likes to cook. She doesn't have to cook, but she likes to cook. So she cooks like 3 days a week, and I cook the other days. And then she takes some home. I keep some, especially like if I cook something beans. I break my foot off in a pot of beans. Nobody makes beans like I do. Yep, they're good. Everybody makes something. They have a specialty, but that old school stuff that simmers all day. What makes mine so good, Lorraine T said that's amazing. She loves it. That I'm retired. I'm home. I'm home all day. Frugal Mama. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Garden State. Thank you for coming and welcome. So if I'm cooking a pot of beans, food, David. Food. I have so much food in this house. Joe, Garden State Gardener. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. It's getting warm down in your neck of the woods, Joe. My sister Joanne Stevens and I and our parents used to drive down to New Jersey a lot of time on the weekends. There's a gigantic farmers market out by the base, 7A and 7B on the New Jersey Turnpike. I used to come through my truck, my Jeep truck or whatever one I had would be so full of stuff. You know how you see other countries and they have like the donkey, and the donkey is piled up over the top with all the family's possessions, or the bicycles with all the stuff. That's how that's how my truck is when I go shopping. Joe Garden State Garden said it's finally getting warmer. I know. I love it. My parents actually had 20 acres of land down there by the Jersey Shore in a place called Mays Landing. It was an investment property because they had the property where my mom still lives, and here in Connecticut. So these are some of the things I'm working on. I'm trying to segue into art quilts. Lorraine T says the Columbus Market. Oh, yeah, near Fort Dix. That's exactly where it was. I used to go and we'd take an ice chest down there because they had the seafood that came in. Why? Because it's right near the Atlantic Ocean and big fish. So I would get the salmon, like a whole salmon, 2 feet long, and then put it in the ice chest or the freezer, get it a little cold, take that big meat cleaver and my hammer and make the salmon steaks. You can't even find salmon steaks in the last 2 or 3 years. You know Mays Landing in New Jersey, Maria Graham? Wow. It's like 12 miles from the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Yeah, so yes, my friend and I barter. So I've got my table up for my new Cutie Breeze frame. The Cutie is still in the box. I'll show you guys. Hold on. Uh, Here I go. There I go. There I go. There I go. Pretty baby, you are the soul that snaps my control. Such a funny thing, but every time I'm near you, I never can behave. You give me a smile and then I'm wrapped up in your magic. Music all around me. Whoops! Almost knocked this over. Knocked something over. But actually, I should probably stop monkeying around with this thing because it's too heavy for me. And it's this great big giant thing. So I will get some help with that. Congrats on the table. Well, the table was the first thing. So we got that off. Oh, yeah, I was telling you about IKEA, the directions and whatnot. We get this whole table put together. And the very last thing you have to put these four, they're not casters, four little screws on the bottom that you use to level it, right? So we get the four screws. Here's one. I got my two in on the side. Then I went to Olga's side, got the one near her. Guess what? The very Marisa, leave it. You can see the box. I know before something dies, right? It's big. It's big, you guys. So the minimum size table to put it on has to be 54 inches by 24 inches. I'm sweating. Did you hear me singing to you guys so that you would know I was still, I still have not left the room? Yeah, so I don't know if I'm actually, uh-oh, she's sliding. If it's actually going to get out of the box before I take my month anniversary in Arizona. uh, PIA said she's still on the road, Joe, trying to speak as she can. She's trying to, everybody's doing something. Joanne Stevens says, my locks are looking good. Thank you. Well, for those of you who don't know, locks are, these are my form of dreadlocks. Everybody's hair does something different. And I started about a year ago, and I don't know what I'm doing. I tried going to a couple people to start them off, and I didn't like what they were doing. So, of course, I didn't go back. My last husband used to say, "You don't pay and beg." So I'm not going to pay them and beg them to do what I like. Yes, there are certain things you do. There's certain things by law that you do in cosmetology. If you're a barber, if you're a beautician, but there's also personal style, and the folks are paying their money to get what they want. So, anyway, long story short, this is where I am now. My sister Joanne's locked. Maybe she'll go live. She doesn't like showing her face, my sister Joanne, my little sister. And what if she does? She can sit on hers. Her hair is all the way down to her waist. Cheers. So, how many of you had um, traditions that you grew up with? I think somebody's saying hello, pescatarian. Oh, hola, amiga. ¿Cómo estás? Mi sobrina. Ella habla español también. My aide, Olga, is from Colombia, South America, and then sometime we'll be speaking Spanglish. What is Spanglish? Half Spanish, half English. She's an American citizen and has been for 35 years, but sometimes it's easier to connect in one language or another. And then sometimes I'll tell her something in English. She said, just tell me in Spanish. Just tell me in Spanish. Dolores, thanks for coming. I saw you today. I gave you the thumbs up, and but I can't find my remote. We're gonna have to drive and pick one up 10 miles away because Olga doesn't like driving on the highway. I don't like driving at all. And we have to go all the way to a town called Milford, Connecticut. Lorraine T knows where that is. Some of you that come up and down Interstate 95 in Connecticut, Connecticut is only this big. You can go from one end of the state, I'm all upside down from pulling on this thing, to the other, anywhere from en dos horas. Sí, bouge prepper habla español también. Yes, yes, yes. So, what else have I been working on that I wanted to tell you guys about? How many of you had church based traditions growing up? When I was growing up, I mentioned at the last live, we went to church. We were all gussied up, like all four daughters, two sons, mommy and dad, and whatever grandparents, uncles, and aunts would be going to our church or whatever their church. We didn't wear pants to church, the girls, and you didn't wear dresses above your knee. You have to order a new remote for your TV, then wait for it to come. Well, the first time I called there, Campbell's, I talked to the lady, and I'm not saying that I was being rude or disrespectful or trying to twist her arm. And she was giving me a hard time, and she was saying that she would send it UPS. Okay, see you, Joe. He says he's leaving. And I was saying that UPS doesn't deliver well here in my building. They leaves it on a community table in the lobby, and I may or may not get it. Can they deliver it at my post office box? No, they can't deliver it. A post office box. You about to take a quick nap? All right. See you later, Dolores. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. And are you taking a nap under your quilt, or it's too hot down there, Dolores? Your little pink quilt. So, Garden State Gardener is going to miss tonight. Oh, his son is an altar boy. Cool, cool. So we had to wear dresses. You didn't wear your arms out. You wore your head covered. I know in the Catholic churches they wore the little veil. I forget the name of it. In the Baptist churches, baby, we wore those hats. There is a book. There's a book. Where is it? A book called Crowns. Oh, there's a book called Crowns. It's right here. Let me see if I can get it uh, without falling or dropping it. Now, this is a thing about traditions. So, let me just dust it off a little bit. I'm so allergic to dust. And this is a book called Crowns. And can't nobody wear a hat like a sister going to church old school. My mother has a whole closet full of fancy hats. She doesn't wear them anymore, but we wore fancy hats. I gave away a closet full of hats, church hats, when I downsized. And some of them were Stetson hats, my cowboy hats and stuff. So this book is about the different hats that people used to wear. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so they don't have to hold my poor arms up, my shoulders up. And they talk about when you put the hats on your head, how you have a different little attitude about it. Look at this. Some of you have seen the hats at the Kentucky Derby or at in England in the UK when they're going to different events. Look at this crown and pearls. That's kind of my style. Well, I don't really wear hats anymore except baseball caps. Got a lot of baseball caps. And I wear hats in the garden. And so this book, and there was, now this is me, isn't it, Sissy? One of those big old hats. I have a lot of old photos with me in hats. And then of course you have to like nod your head and do a little something something when you have your hats on. So, excuse me 1 minute, you guys. I told you about my allergies. I'm not acting up. I'll be sneezing. that book was a little bit dusty, so I'm rinsing my hands off. But speaking about other books, I don't know how many of you go to Costco, covering up the address, because the address at my mom's house, because two people in the same household can share a card. So we share a card, even though the prodigal daughter is often missing and has escaped the family home and went and got her own little grown apartment over here. But in this section of the Costco newspaper, they're talking about putting down roots and the different products they have. People are saying, "Feel better, Dolores." Hugs. Hope you feel better. About to get under it because you can't leave that chair. So what Dolores does, you guys, she sits in a chair, a big comfortable chair, and she'll take a nap and she just puts it around her shoulders. For those of you who think that quilts are old fashioned or passe, they are. There's nothing cozier than a quilt that's, kind of broken in, has nice warm smells. When I send mine out, I ask if people mind some essential oil in it. Some quilters put seeds in it, put herbs in it. Back in the day, like during the wagon trains, people didn't have plastic envelopes, paper envelopes to put their seeds in. Oh, that's what I can do one day. I can teach you how to make a little envelope with a piece of paper. So blessed by Jess. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. And you guys, Jess is a quilter, and as you can see by the so blessed, just if you put your channel name in and exclamation mark GQUAT, you will be able to interact with others who are not familiar with your channel. One of the things that Jess is working on now is a Civil War sampler quilt. And so far, I think she's got about 50 blocks done. And I don't know how it's going to go together. I've made several Civil War quilts, or Civil War message quilts. Quilts were used back in the day when slaves were not allowed to read and write, and they often drew pictures or designs on quilts, different signs, different blocks mean different things. Then there were other people who assisted them leaving leaving the plantations and whatnot, and then some people used them for warmth. They didn't have batting all the time. Some people picked cotton in the fields, stuck the cotton. I've seen quilts with cotton with the seeds still in it. I've seen people take cotton and just stick it in things. My mom told me about quilts that she's seen with old coats stuffed inside, or straw, or paper. And Jess is doing an amazing job on her quilt. Some of the older ways of quilting are still so impressive. Oh, I was telling you about some people used to, especially during slavery, they would take the seeds us gardeners have and stick them in their hair. A lot of black people have have kinky curly hair, and the seeds can hide in it. My hair's cut. I don't know they'd probably fall out knowing me. Okay, there's Jess's channel, you guys, and she has a dedicated studio. It's not all over the place like mine, but everybody enjoys doing what they do. So there's the part for those of you who have not, and you can drop your link more than once because people come in at different times and they see the replay at different times. I'm going to show you guys some fabric I got this week. A small mail haul, speaking of quilting, and I have a lot of African fabrics and a lot of boutiques. Oh, you just got a new subscriber, Jess Campbell's Creation. It's so interesting because there's no right way, there's no wrong way. Again, it goes back to traditional quilting. What is the purpose of your quilt? We talked about there are utility, no, we talked about different purposes. There are utility quilts and there are show quilts. Those of us who do it for a hobby, we learn the quilting laws. A quarter of an inch seam, you press to the dart. Oh my gosh, the points are not supposed to go underneath the seam. So you have to add a quarter inch to whatever you're doing if you're making up your own pattern. Let me see if I can take that out. Okay, so I'm clicking on everything except the right thing. Okay, so I want to hide that. Okay. Good afternoon and hello to anybody she missed. PIA is still driving. Okay, so I bought some fabrics because it was a sale. I didn't realize that it was supposed to be quarter yard pieces, but when they said yardage, I thought they meant they were 1 yard pieces. I'm clicking and ordering, and I wanted to work on some quilts with a lot of purple in it. So, pescatarian. Campbell said she's just subscribed to you. Gina, I saw you today up there trying to plant everything. When I feel like riding, Ohio's not too far away. People are saying hi to Gina, who's crowned herself the future watermelon queen. So let me pull this down a little bit more. So I got these, and one of the things I hate about getting fabrics, like at the different stores, because it's always cut crooked. Well, this fabric from Missouri Star is cut straight, but they're all different size pieces. But just so that you can see, because I want to mix them, the African colors are very intense, big, bold patterns. So here's some pink, light pink, just because some of the newer fabrics have a lot of pink in it. That's a double sided. Some yellows to mix in with what's often dark colors. And like when you want to do shading, like with paint, you see all the different colors of purple. I mean, shades of purple, shades of purple, shades of purple, and some turquoise. And always, there's never enough black. And I never put white in quilts unless it's a like red, white, and blue quilt, or sometimes they have a black and white quilt. But then I still use off white and several shades of white, and to show to make it not boring, you never put the same color neutral in the background. I don't. I buy whenever I go to a quilt show. I learned that from a long armor that used to do a lot of quilting. You make the background all different colors of neutral colors, and it really, really stands out. Let me see if I can get. I've got so many things going on over here, and I don't want to uniron it. Oh, speaking of quilting, before I show you this quilt, which I'm sure Jess would like to see, I made my leaders already for my new quilting frame, this Cutie Breeze that's sitting right here. And I started off with a 4 foot canvas or duck cloth, paint cloth, and I cut it up. I will be putting a video out. The 0 means it's the center. Of course, I have my little label on. Original by Penny Pankey, my nickname. And that one, the top and the bottom are different sizes. And my frame, I will be able to sand or stitch. I'm not able to stand that long, and some of these quilts are very complicated and take a lot. And then on mine, for those of you who are want to make leaders, and what a leader is, speaking of quilting on a long arm or a mid arm or something, a leader is the piece that you connect your quilt to the quilting frame, and you can pin it. Some people glue it. You can put weights on it and let it free hang. So I've made some 1 pound weights with rice in them that I will be using for mine. Woo! So catch my breath a minute. And but before I show you this one on my lap that's not sandwich, but I have the pieces, that might be the first one I do on my new frame because it won't be an intricate one. I used to teach long arm quilting when I had a long arm machine, and I was on the board of directors for a quilting guild. Look at this, you guys. Oh, well, there's a big light coming in the window, but I finished this strip quilt. This has 30 years of little itty bitty pieces of scraps. Each piece is individually sewn down, you guys. This is called an art quilt. Is it artsy? No, but because of the technique and using all these different fabrics, I will take a close up of it. And I have a little short just singing a little song, la 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 la, because it's done. And then to frame it, I put a tiny 3/4 inch off white border on there, and then a purple border. The top borders and the side borders are not the same exact size, nor did I mean them to be. But what really happened, what had happened was I was almost out of that fabric, and that's what I wanted to use. I wanted to use a print. Let me see if I could turn this around a little bit more. I don't think I don't think maybe you can see it. Anyway, there's a quilt of the continent of Africa over there with piano keys on it. Why? Because that's what I do all day. Oh, you like that strip quilt? I was so tired of I had a box of those. And most of those were my giveaway quilts. When I belonged to different guilds or pieces of quilts, there are pieces of my sister Joanne's quilts in there. There are pieces of gay lace, the wrap that you put around your head. I had some African dresses and I wanted some of that fabric. And I took the part that was supposed to be for my hair and I cut it up. I cut up pants that people sent me from Africa. I cut up bits and pieces of everything. That's one super beautiful quilt. Thank you. I'm going to show this year. Connecticut doesn't have a state fair, but there's a county called Durham, Connecticut, and in Durham, that's the biggest county fair. I'm going to somehow get it quilted and get it over there. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. Campbell's Quilting. Someone just subbed to your channel. Now, Ellen Campbell is cute. She's funny too. She has a bunch of sewing machines, and as she said, she has 2 treadle ones. And there's a little rhythm you get. There are people who do embroidery with no machine working in other countries. You see other people with the machines on their head. You can take those old manual machines like my featherweights or a Spartan. Spartan is a Singer machine that was made in England, but you can take the wheel off, the hand wheel, and the the little thing that connects it, and you can make a hand crank if you're in a country with no electricity, if you're living off grid. Why did I say that? Because Ellen Campbell has an RV. Her dream was to get a school bus and convert it for quilting. I have some friends in North Carolina because there's plenty of land out there when I had my homestead. And we used to go not camping overnight, but for different retreats, and they would bring theirs, and I would bring my whatever truck, Jeep truck, whatever, and bring mine. Plus, I had a tag along trailer. What is a tag along trailer for you city folks? It's a trailer that's 6 foot wide and 12 feet long, and it has a little tongue on it, and you put it up to your pickup truck. Yeah, your pickup truck. I didn't connect them to my Jeeps. I had a 1985 Ford F-150. I love that truck. When I came back to Connecticut, my family said, "You are not bringing that thing there." So I gave it to my baby brother and got rid of the PT Cruiser and got a city vehicle that I actually don't. Yep, the manual cranks, Ellen. So, what's good about a manual crank is that these electronic machines with computers, if you don't, if you have power surges, if you have issues going off, if you off grid, if you have the, what do you call it? The solar panels and the battery packs. I have a small battery pack. I have a small solar panel. Why? Because Lead Farmer told us to get one like 3, 4 years ago, and I can take my sewing machine to the park or anywhere, my featherweight. But you don't want to do that and have your power surges. And not only is it annoying, what happens if you have a computerized machine, when it goes off or the power surge, it reprograms it to zero, and you have to put all your stitches that you were doing. If you have, like I have a brother over there, it's not too old, it does 100 stitches. You have the stitch width set to one thing, the stitch length set to another thing, the decorative stitch, the style of stitch, then you got to keep doing that over and over and over and over, like the Stepford Wives. She says, Ellen, well, I already know, but she has property, a subdivision of space. And she invited me over. Hey, Tina, the New Orleans gardener. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I was talking to you about you to my aide Wednesday because she asked what I'm making for seafood for Friday, like the five fishes things. So we're probably going to make some kind of gumbo and, with shrimp and all the okries and other stuff in it. So I can't wait. Now, T-Nog lives on the Gulf Coast in the New Orleans area near the ocean. I grew up in Connecticut on Long Island Sound. And Daddy had a boat, and we used to go out fishing, just buckets of fish, and they'd be piled up on the sink. And us kids didn't clean the fish, but my parents did. They would be cleaning for days and then putting them in the deep freeze. This time of year in Connecticut, the fish are going upstream to spawn, and there used to be this place called Mianus Gorge in Connecticut. It's right when you cross over from New York State on Interstate 95 and come into Connecticut. And the fishermen would be down there. And as a herring would try to jump up over the water, they'd keep jumping, jumping. The men would have on these hip boots, and they would just scoop them up. And Daddy would pay them, and we would have the fish. I hated it. I hated it. I didn't like fish until I got grown. I didn't want to go to school smelling like no stinking fish. Mommy would cut the herring like, say this is the fish. Say this is the fish, right? Going this way. She would put deep hash marks almost to the bone on both sides. Then when you fried it, it would get real crunchy and you wouldn't have all those bones in your mouth. For those of you who don't know, herring, like the fresh herring, not the salted ones, they have a gazillion bones. And grits, that's what you ate them with in the morning. Up here in Connecticut, yeah, the Gulf of Mexico and the Mississippi River, T Nog is saying. Mother, did you hear all this fishing talk? And Dad, now Connecticut is inwards, right off Long Island Sound, but to get to the deep ocean, where the big fish were, like the 800-pound tunas and what like that, you had to go either up to Massachusetts, like out of Boston, where my brothers lived, or you had to go all the way around. There's now a ferry from Connecticut to Long Island, and you go out at Montauk Point and catch deep water currents. Pescatarians from New York, she knows. She knows. Mother, Mike is saying hello, Mom. Fish and grits. I got. Don't have any fresh fish. I don't have. When I say fresh fish, I'm talking about fresh from the pond or fresh from the ocean. I have it fresh that somebody else caught, and I have cans of salmon. Part of my prepping, I got cans and cans and cans of fish and salmon, and I even bought 2 cans of mackerel. Say mackerel, Auntie Ellen, is you done lost your mind? When I lived at Venice Beach, people used to go and fish off the pier, and they would catch mackerel. It seemed so greasy to me at the time, but my friend, we have a friend that used to live near Auntie Joanne in California, and she put her husband through law school. He became the city attorney for the city of Compton by making this casserole, and she would take the fish out, put the water, the juice, the water off of it into something else, take the bones out, and then break it up in the like an 8x8 casserole dish, or if she made a double one, she would make the bigger pan, and then she would chop up an onion in it and 4 eggs with just a little milk and bake it, and it would be so good. You eat it with rice, with potatoes, with everything. Campbell said she had fish and grits. She wanted her fish smoked. You can smoke it yourself. You could put it in your smoker grill. I had a smoker grill in the North Carolina homestead before I came back to Connecticut. And I put the wood chips on one side, and the smoke would just go over to the other side and just let stuff smoke all night. They also used to make, oh, what is that? Brunswick stew out there and have it smoke. You can make it how whatever you want, you guys. But I wanted you to show you one last look at this quilt with all those tiny old fashioned strips. Now my grandmothers used to make quilts with tiny strips out of old dresses, and I saved all these old pieces for 30 years. The leftover ones I did share. I did share with some of you who said that you wanted to quilt and wanted some of these scraps. I promise I'm not making any more of this one. I have so many in my head that I want to make. And the reason I got that quilting frame is because I sold my long arm. And yep, y'all see it up there. Y'all see it. That is a 30-quart steel bowl that I use for my canning when I'm making my chow chow or sauerkraut. But those four black hampers up there are filled to the top. Each one is filled to the top with completed quilt tops that have been completed for 10 years. So there was a while I couldn't sew because of health reasons, but baby, I am back. I am back, and that's all I want to do. I eat and sleep, I take a nap, I come speed around here. So now my living space is my studio. I sew, I paint, I draw, I can do ceramics. I have a small wheel and some oven firing clay that I can do. I just do whatever I want. I ran away. If you could run away as a child and just do anything you want, this is it. Except I did it in my old age, and I don't have a camper or my tag along trailer. I was telling you about it. So it had wooden insides, and I had some carpet down the bottom, and I bought a cot, and I used to have show dogs, big old dogs. This is one of them, and I would take two of them or three to a dog show. This was my favorite dog ever. This is Brutus. Brutus. And he was 170 pounds. And if I was standing up and I told him to sit or gave him the signal to sit, he came to my chest. One time I took him to New York City. Those of you from New York, I don't know if you know where Left Rack City is, and Bougie Prepper might know where it is, or Pescatarian. It's or Co-op City. It's a city where it's like four buildings. I don't know how many stories high, 12, 16 stories. They're all interconnected with 40,000 people. 40, she says, yay, I'm back to my quilting. 40,000 people. So people would say this 170-pound dog that looked like a pit bull on steroids, they would say, can I pet him? Yep, you can pet him. The elevator door open, and people will say, I'm like, you can get in. I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. But I used to do a stud service for this dog. This was a rare breed dog back then. And there was a police officer who lived and worked in one of those buildings, and he had a female. And Brutus was such a stud muffin. Like, we would go there and put the dogs out like in a courtyard or a on the balcony. And we're not going to get too graphic here. No worry, you don't have to cover your eyes or ears. And we would be signing the contract for the dog, because as the owner of the male stud, I would get the choice of the pick of the litter. And if the dog had more than 10 puppies, I the female owner would get the second puppy. Then I would also get a third the third pick. And so, like, if I got a female, I would get the best female in the litter, and then he would get the male, or vice versa, whatever it was I chose. Those dogs today, you can Google them. Actually, the Rain T is in the chat. She can tell you. Pescatarian says, "Yep, Co-op City has like 24 floors in each building." Yep. So here I am walking with this 170-pound dog. I usually kept him on a short leash, and I'd give him his little commands to sit, stay, come, heel. He was the best dog, unless you tried to touch me. You could come to my house and pick up a puppy. I would have like a litter of puppies myself every 2 years. That was a lot of work. I used to bottle feed my puppies goat's milk and take care of them, socialize them. I was a licensed breeder. There's a book up there from Tufts University where they selected one of my dogs out of all the Cane Corso Italian Mastiffs in the United States as an example of what the breed should look for. Then I found out that the dog shows, judges shaking hands with each other. Oh, yeah, we went to drinks last night. Oh, guess what? The person who went to drinks last night, that's whose dog won the show. Not always. Some of the dogs deserved it. Others, they say if you can't say something good, don't say anything. So I'll just leave it what it is. So then I would just have dogs for the sake of the breed. And the dogs that I had were his father was a champion in Italy. In order to be a champion, like the Westminster Dog Show, you had to be a conformation champion, meaning the breed standard. And I like big dogs. I like big guys too. Just saying. Just saying. Preferably tall, dark, and handsome. But, anyways, I digress. And so you had to be a working champion, which means that you had to do something on the farms in Italy. These dogs were so competitive, the different families that bred them, you didn't dial 911. The mafioso, if you Campbell says she does smoke her own meats, but she will smoke it from the ground. Oh, that's cool. You didn't dial 911 because somebody in the next mafioso group, you were having, or whatever. They bred their own lines of dogs, and the different ones would be different. Rudy says 49 floors. Oh, that's how many floors you think there are in Co-op City? There are a lot. It was big. She says I'm back and ready. I've been around, you guys. I've been around. I've had I was able to do the things that I wanted in life, and I did everything that I wanted to do. Now I'm happy to stay in my apartmento. Auntie Joanne says I don't get out enough. I get out all I want to. I had something like an email or something, a short. Okay, Rudy. Okay, Rudy, we're gonna stop with all the numbers. Not a 425-pound dog, 170-pound dog. Yeah, yeah. So we'll just let the trolls do what they want to do because we're busy over here. We're talking and having fun. So the last thing I wanted to show you, because I'm not actually going to sew today, but I'm going to show you something that I have sewn because I'm still getting the last few things back on the table. Everything in a 6-foot area, top and bottom, had to be moved from the old table, the new table, which is larger, and set up. So, but this frame is small enough that I can take it off the table when I'm not using it. But I have a couple of quilts that are ready to go, and I will be doing those before I go. This is another little art quilt that's been started forever, but I can do that on a domestic machine. So how many machines do I have here in mi little apartamento? I'm doing really well with my addiction. I used to have 35 machines when I was on the homestead in North Carolina. When I showed the video, you could see some of them in the background, some of them in cases, some were out on different tables. But I have seven. I have seven now, seven machines. Mike banned him. He changed his names to get past it. Well, no comment. I'll just keep going. So here is a quote. We were talking about light fabrics and not using the same exact one. Well, here's the batting that I already made to go to this piece. And guess what? It's Frankenstein batting. Our treasured home said you're right. So this wasn't quite big enough. So you can see where I sewed it together. I just got another piece and sewed it on the bottom. You have one sewing machine you've never used? Mike, promise you'll get it out. Mike. Come on. Come on, you guys. I want all of you to make something. Or even if you don't use a sewing machine, do it by hand. I'm teaching Olga how to do it by hand. She is making the neck bone pillows by hand and sending them to Colombia to her family. Her mom is still there. 55 Media. Hey, I saw you. You messed up and bought a smart machine. Too complicated. My it's like an old stick shift car, one of those old machines. For those of you who've never driven a stick shift, you put the car in second and get it going on a little bit of hill, hop in it, pop the clutch, and baby, you go. You go. Mike hand sews. That's all you need. That's all you need. So, I was telling you about the different neutrals. Okay, so this is a scrap quilt. I'll turn it this way and put this down so I don't have to hold my arms up so high. 755, how you feeling? For those of you who don't know, 755 had a major health crisis recently. I'm glad to see her. Mother, 755 Media is in here. She's hand waving. My mother just loves her. She thinks that she's so funny and a bad girl, just like her daughter. So I want to show you guys what I mean about this quilt would not be nearly as interesting if I had the same, say, unbleached muslin, the same off white. You see all these different neutral colors, and then I would take some of these same strips, some of these same strips. Actually, I made this quilt after I made the one with all those little strips. I took some of the colored strips that were 2.5 inches, and I had already cut. Maria Graham said, "I hope you're feeling better." Campbell said she can drive a stick. If it's got a motor in it, I'll drive it. I drove a 25-foot truck with a tow dolly and my car on it from California to Connecticut by myself. I went through that state that 755 Media went through. Child, they still looking for me the way I went through there. 755 says, Auntie Joanne, I feel so good. I thank God for saving me. We thank God for saving you. We love you. Ego amote. Ego amote. So, this is what I wanted to show you about how interesting using different color light fabrics is. Then this is the backing to this quilt. I'm probably going to do it on this new cutie pie. I went to my mom's house and got my 60-year-old sewing machine that was up on the third floor up there because it has an 8-inch throat. The throat is the part under the sewing machine where you can roll the quilt up and do it. Well, the Cutie Breeze, you put your own domestic machine on it, or you can buy one with a bigger neck. I just got rid of all those machines. An 18-inch long arm, a 16-inch long arm. I don't want to start all that, and I won't have anywhere to sleep. I'll have to line them up along the bed. Quilts and chocolates. How are you doing? The flair of modern. I love your quilt. Quilts and chocolates. And anyone who has not done so yet, put exclamation mark GQUAT so that we can connect with each other. Now, Quilts and Chocolates, for those of you who don't know, that's what she does. She does quilts, she does homeschooling, and she makes homemade chocolates. Homemade chocolates. So this is a scrappy little backing that I made. I'm going to tilt this forward one last time, you guys, so I don't have to hold my 77-year-old shoulders up. So these were 10.5 inch blocks. Why? I don't buy the 10-inch stacks that they sell. I buy 10, I cut my own fabrics 10.5 inches. That way, if I want to put a seam in it, I can, if I want to put a seam in it, I can mix it with the 10-inch blocks and make stars and other things. So this is how you drop your links to connect to people who don't know your channel. So I feel good today, you guys. Some people that have not don't know these other channels are getting to know each other. So this is actually a bunch of scraps too. I love dragonflies, actually more than butterflies, even though I have a dragonfly tattoo. What? Yeah, I got a tattoo when I was 50, 50 mother, and I it's a small butterfly. I had a mole removed from my back and it left a scar, and I was too vain at the time. I didn't want a scar on me. One of the nurses said, "Well, some of the girls are getting tattoos." So I have a little tattoo about the size of a quarter, and it's purple. You sound like you. I'll put a sewing machine in my bed if I have to, under the bed, anywhere. By the way, you guys, this sofa that this quilt is laying across, it's a leather sofa with a steel, a heavy duty steel bottom on it, and it's up on casters. Everything's underneath is canning jars, fabric, jeans. Hey, sis. I just saw Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner. Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner. Lorraine, so you can use what you messed up with measuring for the backing. Of course. There's no such thing as messing up. It's like soup. You put whatever's in the refrigerator in it. This quilt, I put a stabilizer, the quilt with all the little strips. I put a backing, a 6.5 inch block, and and I have links. I can link it actually in the description. And I've actually did a few blocks live, and I drew a diagonal line and just laid the strips across one by one by one. And I think I was doing 2 blocks a week. Took me forever. Took me forever. And then after I got it pieced together, I sat and I looked at it. Sometimes art has to talk to you. You have to look at it, and then the different ways you lay it. My place is not big enough that I have a dedicated design wall here, like I did in my 1,500 square foot studio. This backdrop in back of me, you know what this is? This is my green screen. I have a big green screen. Nikki told me to get, and it's folded in quarters, and I pinned these up there. I have another back of a the card case that you have at the library, and you used to have the cards in it. Well, the back of there, I put 2 little hooks and a rod. I use that for a design wall. I use my sofa for a design wall. I use my floor for my design carpet. Except it's hard getting up off that floor once you get down there. And for that reason, I don't wear shoes in my apartment. The maintenance man came to help me fix that last little screw on the table yesterday. Olga went and found him, and he came and he says, "I don't like to come in your apartment because I have to put the shoe covers." Yes, you do. I don't want whatever you're walking on outside in the park, raccoon doo-doo, cat doo-doo, bear doo-doos in the woods, and come bring it in here. And I have to put my quilts on it because I don't have any more space. So that's my story. So this is going to be the backing. The Frankenstein batting is done. The quilt top, and this, some of them call a race book quilt because you're using 2.5 inch. No, this one. That's the backing. 2.5 inch strips, and just sewing them back to back to back with off-white strips. And I bought it for a travel quilt, but it's not going to be finished in 3 weeks when I travel. But guess what? It's 120 degrees in Arizona. It's 80 degrees in Arizona. I'm going to take one of my big wraparound scarves and something to tie my hair up, and I will stay warm. People are asking, how's Miss Shirley OG doing? She's recovering from knee replacement surgery. So, you guys, you know what? Just keep living. So, Saturday, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I will make that fish loaf because that's really fast. The one that I told you my friend put her husband through law school cooking that once or twice a week. Maybe I'll make that. She's just back from a doctor's appointment. Thanks for asking. So, everyone's speaking. And hold on, because I have an outro. I want to thank you guys for coming. Do what you love and love what you do. I had one little thing over here. I was going to make 755 Media laugh. Oh, wait. I want to show you one thing because I don't think she was here when I decided. So I decided which of my 3 paintings I'm going to enter into this art show that's coming up. And this is one of the ones one of the watercolor landscapes that I picked. So I'm going to show this one. And we can also sell them. I don't know if I want to sell them. If I want to sell them, here's another landscape that can be shown as a set or different. Red skies in the morning, for those of you who are in the ocean or whatever, red skies mean that there's danger in the water, so you have to be comfortable. You made a summer quilt made of silk and lace. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I have a container with lace and silk and stuff in it, and I have some the cotton crochet as well. Then, because by public request, let me see if I can take this off. Okay. Thank you. Here is a graphite sketch. Graphite just means pencil, with a number 2 pencil. And my old Timberlands. My old Timberlands. So this is what I do. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. That's right. Red sky at night, sailors delight. Yes, y'all. So these were my Tims. And yes, they ended up staying in the country with the pickup truck. Campbell said, you're a very good artist. Actually, my sister Joanne is the very good artist. I didn't become an artist until I was 66 years old. I was doing art, but I had never taken a class in it. And I worked in business and in law, corporate law, and I didn't have time to do it, except I would I would do it in the hotel when I was traveling. Used to say a show. It's just a show, just a little local show. But you can sell your little things there, and I have prices. I'll have prices on it. If I don't want to sell something, you know what I do? The price, the do not sell it for price, and then sometimes you get it, and then guess what? It has to go. It has to go. Before we leave, you see this little logo? This little, I don't know if you can see this arrow. This little logo up here in the right-hand corner of your screen. Well, that is a copy of my real logo that I started with, Traditions. Then I was like, nobody knows what a Traditions is. So I added GQUAT so that you would know Garden Quilt and Art Show. I didn't, I guess it rubbed off from my sister, Lorraine T. She asked me, am I an artist? I went to, I went to no, I was in North Carolina, and I went to the junior college, the community college, and I took a drawing class. I took a paint class. Now 755 is the one that knows all the terms and all the stuff. My sister Joanne Stevens is a glass artist. She does all the stuff. She just did an amazing portrait quilt of my mother. My sister Joanne did. Campbell's is saying, Happy Passover. I forgot. One of my neighbors is, well, I won't talk about religions. But anyway, we have many religions in my building. Have Prince mate, Auntie? Great idea. Especially, I need to talk to 755 because you can get artist quality prints, and I'll turn you around, not to make you dizzy. That's actually a wood burning of my dad. I had taken a picture of my dad years ago in his lambskin hat, and my mother had a friend of Auntie Joanne's who is from Senegal, and he does wood burnings, and he made that one of my dad. But Auntie Joanne has the original, and I forgot what I said. I'm the oldest of 6 children, so I got one out of, I think, 48. Auntie Joanne got 2 out of 48 in the in the line of the order that we were born in. And then my daughter got one, I'm pretty sure. I don't know about my son. Fifi. Hey, Fifi. You can make me sneak up there and get some of them chicken eggs. We had some chickens next door at the Montessori school, but I don't see them. I don't know if something got them or life life got them. I bring it every day saying hello, Mike and Fifi. So mother Egawamote, and you guys, I appreciate all of you. All of you. I just crowned my, now I've always been a gardener all my life since I was 2 years old. Auntie Joanne will tell you, I was always the one out there playing in the dirt. She was out there with newspaper on the dirt with a little cute dress and playing. Me, I was bringing worms and caterpillars in the house and hiding them in the closet. That's always been me. That's always been me. But I got when I retired when I was 66, that's when I took the art classes. But guess what? I had already done an oil portrait of my mother. And my mother said, the art instructor said, You mean you've never painted before? How did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just made it up. I just made up the scrumbling and stuff. It's a different painting. I made an oil painting of Auntie Joanne as well. Maybe she'll let me show it when I get out there. And I did an acrylic portrait of my dad. That was before I lost sight in one of my eyes. When you're blind in one eye, your depth perception is off. Like when you measure something, you don't go and take a ruler. You hold your pencil up to the light and you judge how far it is. Then you make a mark on the paper. You make a mark on the paper. Quilting says, My happy spirit is contagious. Thank you. I'm happy. I'm happy. Some people don't like being alone. Being alone doesn't make you lonely. I grew up with 6 brothers and sisters, my mom, dad, grandmother, all my aunts and uncles. I didn't have the luxury of being alone. We shared. Oh, I had 40 people in the chat. Thanks, you guys. Woohoo! Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. And just in this chat alone tonight, we have connected with others that we didn't know. So I feel good about that. So hold on for the outro or not. No, maybe not, because I don't see it. And when I start moving things around, there it is. No, it's not. I'm still here. I forgot to tell you, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. Now I'm really going. I'm going to tell you guys, I love you.